Ladies and gentlemen, not only are the left in favor of anti-Semitism, they support it. Let's take a look, shall we? S. Brown. CNN's Rex Chapman helped raise money for BLM Louisville, bail fund that aided shooting suspect. The Kentucky native repeatedly raised money for the two groups on Twitter. CNN Plus host Rex Chapman repeatedly helped raise money for Black Lives Matter Louisville and the Louisville Community Bail Fund, which both reportedly aided the release of BLM activist Quintez Brown, who's been accused of attempted murder. So let me break that first part down for you. It's not reportedly. One of their leaders of Black Lives Matter Louisville came out and said, yes, they did. She made a whole speech about it. So you raise bail for someone who attempted to kill a mayoral candidate because I'm assuming, I don't know his motives, but I'm going to assume it's because he's Jewish. Think about how sad and sick that is. Let's continue. Brown, the suspect in the shooting of Louisville mayoral candidate Craig Greenberg, posted his $100,000 bail on Wednesday, thanks to the Louisville chapter of BLM and the local bail fund. Now, there's a couple of problems with this, right? Everybody's assuming that because his bail was $100,000, Louisville BLM came up with $100,000. That's actually not what happened. So most people aren't aware of how the bail system works. And you all see the bail enforcement agent badge in my background. If his bail was set at $100,000, he only had to come up with $10,000. That's how bail works. So they came up with $10,000. God knows how much money they actually raised to get an attempted murderer out of jail. Reading on, Chapman, who CNN announced last month will have his own show on the liberal network's forthcoming streaming service, advocated for the two groups at least 4 separate times in 2020 during the George Floyd protests while promoting merchandise. Block or charge for racial equality and justice. All proceeds benefit Black Lives Matter Louisville and the Louisville, Kentucky Community Bail Fund. White on black or black on white, show your support for racial equality and justice. All proceeds benefit Black Lives Matter Louisville and the Louisville, Kentucky Community Bail Fund. Humanity, end quote. The Kentucky native similarly tweeted in August 2020. Fox News reached out to Chapman and asked if he still supports the two groups and whether he approves their actions in bailing out Brown. Fox News also reached out to CNN regarding its policies on its stars promoting activist groups. Neither have responded to requests for comment. I'm not even gonna slow down long enough to, I'm not promoting that shit. Brown, 21, was charged with attempted murder and 4 counts of wanton endangerment after he entered Greenberg's campaign headquarters in Butchertown and fired multiple shots using a 9mm Glock handgun, police said. Nobody was hurt, but Greenberg's shirt was grazed by a bullet, he said. Greenberg is a white Jewish Democrat. Police have not provided details about the possible motive for the shooting, but said they are looking at all angles. Brown previously worked for the Louisville Courier-Journal as an intern and an editorial columnist. According to the newspaper, he shared a short campaign video on Twitter in December, announcing that he was running to represent District 5 for Louisville's Metro Council in 2022. Brown made headlines last summer after he went missing for about 2 weeks. His family was critical of Louisville's Metro Police Department during the investigation. Said police were ill-equipped in helping to locate Brown. His parents told local media at the time that their son could possibly be going through a mental health crisis and pleaded with the public to help find him. Brown was later found safe in New York. Before the missing person episode, Brown was a prominent activist during the Black Lives Matter and defunded police unrest following the May 2020 death of George Floyd. Ladies and gentlemen, if any of you are surprised by any of that, then I don't know what to tell you. These are people that when President Trump got elected, screamed and yelled in the streets. These are the same Black Lives Matter people supported by the squad. I do believe every member of the squad has made anti-Semitic statements. And it really is a sad state of affairs. Because now we can see, I've always thought AOC was crazy and Ilhan Omar, but now you can see these are the people who make up the Black Lives Matter movement, and they have followers, and their followers are crazy. It's like all the crazies got together and went into one movement. And that's like crazy. I don't mean mentally ill. Mentally ill is different from being crazy. But what did they think would eventually happen to these people? They're in such a situation to where everything is so emotional and so overstated. Of course, they're going to break eventually. And this guy, I wouldn't even say was crazy. But it brings me back to something, right? Supposedly, for Black Lives Matter, right, it's all about equality and racial justice. But if you look, they're anti-Semitic, they're anti-Asian, they're anti-Black conservative, they're anti-white, even though they're mostly made up of white people. And you look at the damage they've wrought, I'm not even talking about with the riots, but their followers killing people, doing untold damage. It's just insane. Which brings me to their criminal justice program. There's a reason they want their criminals out of prison so they can root and destroy America. If you look, they're always saying mentally ill. They shouldn't be in prison because they want them doing their work for them. Let's just be real about it. Let's just be real. Wouldn't be surprised if Kamala Harris donated to his fund to get him out. You know, it's only 10 grand. She probably could write a check for that. It's just really disconcerting. If you guys have been following what's going on and all the mentally ill committing murders, then you would know what I'm talking about. As a matter of fact, I'm doing a upcoming special on the criminal justice system and the mentally ill. I want to get that out there. Give me a couple of days, it'll be out there. It's going to be about an hour and a half long or so. Probably try to keep it to an hour. I know you don't, I know your time is valuable, I get it. But it really is an important message because our criminal justice system concerning the mentally ill is completely screwed up. And not that they shouldn't be in prison. They should be. That's how it's screwed up because we've gone clear to the other side. But talking about this incident, I'm really not surprised. I'm not surprised BLM bailed him out. I'm not surprised by anything BLM does. They hate Jews. They hate white people. They hate conservative Blacks. They hate Asians. Look at most of the Asian hate crimes have been perpetrated by Black people. Black people following this BLM nonsense. They're creating this. But I'm going to cover that in the series and show, or not the series, it's just going to be one show, and show you how that's going on. And we'll go from there. But no, I'm not surprised Mr. Brown got bailed out by BLM. It's really ridiculous. It really is. But this is the ridiculous shit they do. This is it. So if you're contributing to BLM, I don't know what to tell you. You're supporting murderers. You're supporting rapists. Yes, those are the people they're bailing out. Think about where your money goes. But like, subscribe, share. And as always, especially in these days and times, keep your powder dry. Do what you got to do.